If you're a former athlete and you've been eating less and less for years and the fat won't come off, there's a specific hormone in your body that has stopped working. Not your thyroid, not your testosterone, something else. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what it is, why it broke, and the protocol I use with my clients to fix it. Do not click off this video, because if you've been eating less for years, you cut the calories, you cut the carbs, you added cardio, you stuck to it. It worked for a while, right? Like maybe you lost 10, maybe 15 pounds, and then it stopped. You ate less, nothing happened. You ate even less and the scale wouldn't move, and you actually started to gain weight on what felt like nothing. You're not crazy, you're not weak, you're not undisciplined. Something specific is happening inside your body right now that's making it physically impossible for your brain to register the food signals that it needs to burn fat. And the harder you try to lose weight, the way you've been told, the worse this gets. And that's what we're fixing today. Before I go any further, this is what's possible. When the signaling system gets back online, this is what your body can do. Same person, same calories on most days, just a different signal. He didn't have to suffer harder. He didn't add more cardio. He fixed the wiring. And that's what we're doing today. So here's what's coming. It's called leptin resistance. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what leptin is, why your brain has stopped listening to it, and the 4 things that are making it worse every day. And then I'm going to show you the exact protocol we use to reverse it, and the same protocol we've used with over 100 men to do the exact same thing. You're going to know more why your body stopped responding to dieting, and you're going to know more than 95% of doctors and 99% of fitness coaches. You'll have a clear path that you can start tomorrow. My name is Nolan Ulm. I'm a former D1 football captain and soon to be pro football player. I'm the founder of Make It Happen Coaching. And like I said, I've helped over 100 former athletes rebuild their bodies after years of broken dieting using the exact same framework that we're going to walk you through today. Okay, this is the same protocol I've used on myself to drop fat and get the leanest I've ever been, eating 570 grams of carbs a day. Here's what we're covering: what leptin actually is, how resistance develops at the cellular level, and the 4 drivers that are making it worse every day, right? The blood work that's going to tell you where you stand, and then the metabolic priming protocol that we do that reverses it. So stay with me here. I'm going to show you everything that we do. So leptin is the most important fat loss hormone that you've never heard of. This was discovered by Jeffrey Friedman back in 1994 at Rockefeller University. Before leptin was identified, scientists couldn't explain why some people would maintain body weight effortlessly while others would gain the fat no matter what they do, right? Sounds probably super familiar. So he cracked the system open. And here's how it works in your body. Your fat cells produce leptin. So the more fat you have, the more leptin you produce. Leptin travels to your brain, to a region called the hypothalamus, right? And tells your brain how much energy you have stored. So think of it like a fuel gauge in a car. Your fat cells are the gas tank. The leptin is the wire connecting the tank to the dashboard. So your brain is the driver, and when the tank is full, the gauge reads full. The driver runs the engine freely, and when the tank is low, the gauge reads low, right? And so the driver slows down and conserves fuel. And so that's exactly how leptin and your brain are supposed to work. The issue is, right, when leptin is high, meaning you have plenty of body fat, your brain gets a signal that energy is abundant. So metabolism runs full speed. You burn fat freely. Your appetite is regulated. Thyroid produces, a normal T3, which we talked about in the last video. If you guys haven't, go check that out. Go check it out now. Testosterone stays optimal. Everything works. However, when leptin is low, meaning energy is scarce, your brain shifts into this survival mode and slows your metabolism, which increases hunger, conserves energy, right? It's protecting yourself, and it prepares your body to survive a famine. The system is incredible, right? It worked for millions of years, but it's not very effective in this day and age, right? Because it keeps us alive, but it doesn't get us into our ultimate peak shape. That's the truth. So it's also the reason why you've been getting fatter on less food, because here's the problem. And this is what happens when the system breaks down. Leptin resistance is when the wire, right, between that gas tank and the dashboard stops working. So the fat cells are still producing leptin, plenty of it, right? So people with a lot of body fat often have leptin levels 10 times higher than someone who's leaner. and the signal is being sent, but the brain has stopped listening. The brain has stopped listening. So the receptors in that hypothalamus, they're desensitized. So even though leptin is flooding your brain at super high levels, the brain reads it as if leptin is low. So the dashboard reads empty even though the tank is full. And because the brain thinks that energy is scarce, it does exactly what it's supposed to during a famine, which it slows down your metabolism. Because why would you want to burn that extra fat that's going to keep you alive? It increases your appetite, and it tells your thyroid to produce more reverse T3, which what we talked about in the last video crashes testosterone and stops active T3 from being able to burn calories at the highest rate possible. It's going to make you crave foods that are high calorie, right? It makes you feel cold. It makes you feel tired. You're carrying excess body fat, abundant stored energy, and your brain has convinced your body it's literally starving. So this is why people with significant body fat are often hungrier than lean people. It's not weakness. It's not your fault. It's your metabolism not working. It's a broken signaling system. And so here's the worst part about all this, right? The standard advice is to eat less and move more. This makes leptin resistance even worse because when you cut calories aggressively in a leptin resistant body, your leptin actually does drop. So now leptin is lower than it should be. And on top of that, your body's not able to read it properly. Your brain doubles down on the famine response. Metabolism slows down further. Hunger explodes. And the second that you stop dieting, your body stores everything you eat as fat to prepare for the next famine. That's leptin resistance trap, right? That's the trap. And the more times that you've dieted, the deeper you're in. So if you've been on and off diets for 10 years, like most former athletes that we've worked with, your body isn't broken, it's protecting you. And from that advice, from advice that was always going to fail you. So these are the 4 lights on the dashboard, okay? So there's exactly 4 things that are driving your leptin resistance in your body right now. So if you have 1, your fat loss is impaired. And if you have all 4, like we talked about in the last video with your reverse T3, you're pretty well screwed. Your brain has effectively stopped responding to signals that it should be telling to burn fats. This is why you just don't get the results that you want. So let me walk you through each one. So here we go. And really be honest with yourself if this is you in your situation. So driver number 1 is chronic inflammation. This is the master driver. We talked about this before. This is from poor diet, gut dysfunction, chronic stress, poor sleep, excess body fat. Even when I say poor diet, it's just not a lot of whole foods, a lot of protein powder. So this is inflammatory signaling molecules physically blocking leptin from binding to the receptors in your brain. So we could get really deep into the science, but I'm not going to bore you with it too much, okay? At the end of the day, the research has summarized that in cell metabolism, that it shows inflammation directly reduced leptin sensitivity in that hypothalamus. So it interferes with a really important pathway. So I want you to, once again, we're going to picture that wire between the gas tank and the dashboard and wrapped in fraying insulation. So the signal can travel, but it's degraded. So the more inflammation, the worse the signal is to your brain. Okay, driver number 2, hyperinsulinemia. So insulin and leptin work in close coordination. When you eat consistently, high amounts of these refined carbs or processed foods, your insulin levels, right, they stay elevated. So chronically elevated. And also insulin, which is directly impairs leptin's ability to function. So this is why they're related. So you've probably heard about insulin before, blood sugar, people with diabetes, right? Insulin and leptin share some of the same downstream pathways in the hypothalamus. So when insulin is constantly elevated, it desensitizes those shared pathways, and leptin signaling gets caught in that crossfire. So listen, the worst part is that most former athletes who've been chronically dieting and adding cardio for years have actually become more insulin resistant over time, not less. And that's because the muscle that doesn't get used loses GLUT4 receptors. So the result is your body is this machine that handles carbs worse than it used to. So picture leptin and insulin as 2 musicians. This is a metaphor I really like, playing a duet. And when insulin is screaming at the top of its lungs, leptin can't be heard. It's not going to be heard by your brain. Okay, the next one, not the last one. We got one more after this. is sleep deprivation. Look at these stats, right? This is absolutely shocking. This is one of the most overlooked. And leptin runs on your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is created through your bedtime, your wake time, your sunlight exposure. It's regulated by cortisol. This is the nightly rise in what suppresses your morning hunger, signals your brain that your body is in good energy balance. So when you sleep less than 7 hours a night, the leptin pulse gets disrupted and levels drop. So once again, we're just, all these things are adding up. And let's be honest, there's probably a lot that you're doing. These things are things that you've been doing or you're caught up in. Your brain is supposed to get a nightly status report from your fat cells. And sleep is when that report gets delivered. So if you skip the meeting and your brain is making these decisions blind, you're in trouble. And that's what happens. Okay, number 4, chronic caloric restriction. And this is where most people are stuck. And they're scared to get out of it, because when you get out of it, you gain the pounds back in fat, right? So when you chronically restrict calories, your leptin drops and your body has less circulating leptin signals. So as your brain is reading this, it's seeing it as starvation. And so in a healthy system, this would resolve when you start eating more again. But in a leptin resistance system, the damage compounds. So each cycle of dieting and rebound makes the resistance worse and worse. This is really heavily documented with the Biggest Loser studies, right? So they found that after years of dramatic weight loss, that leptin levels stayed suppressed for years post shows. Their metabolic rates remained 500 calories per day lower than what it was, as you guys can see here. Years. It never fully recovered. Their bodies were permanently primed to regain fat aggressively. So this is what chronic dieting does. It changes the long-term set point of your hormonal system. Every time you drastically cut calories, you're telling your brain that a famine is coming. Every time your brain stops believing the famine is never going to end, which is really scary, right? So all 4 of these, if they're all red, right? This is the issue. And a lot of former athletes, you're running all 4 of these. You've been inflamed for years of stress, processed food, excess body fat. Your insulin is chronically elevated from poor carb tolerance and all these dysregulated eating patterns. You're sleeping on 6 hours a night because of work, life, family, all that stuff. You've been dieting on and off for years, which has trained your body to hold on to fat. So your body has stopped responding to leptin. Your metabolism is in survival mode. And the standard advice, eat less, move more, everything that you've heard, it's just digging the hole deeper and deeper, right? So if that's you, just keep watching. These next 2 minutes are going to be huge. So I want to show you guys this. Cyrus was stuck, dieted on and off, and the fix wasn't more discipline. It was maintenance phase first, and then we ramped carbs up, a carb ramp second. Strength training, sleep, and then we went into a deficit when the system was actually able to respond. And then from there, when we raised carbs, metabolism was firing, it pulled those carbs. Look at his muscles. They start to feel full. So I'm going to show you exactly how to know if your system is broken. These are going to be the labs you're going to go get. Okay, so once again, we use data-driven systems. We don't guess, we test. So what you're going to go for is you're going to go get these labs and be able to see leptin. So optimal range that they say for men is about 4 to 10 nanograms, as you guys can see here. But really, if we're looking at it, above 12 suggests that leptin resistance is likely. So I'm not going to go over these in depth, but screenshot this. This is what you're going to look at when you guys go and get your blood work to see what's really going on. So screenshot this and bring this to your next appointment with your doctor. Okay, now this is how we reverse it. So it's not a lost cause. And in fact, you can actually get out of this. We call this metabolic priming. And it addresses all 4 drivers simultaneously. So your body needs to feel safe before it will burn fat. So each step is going to reverse one of these specific drivers. Step 1 is reduce inflammation. And this is through whole foods. And we're going to cut all processed foods. We're going to cut seed oils. We're going to cut excessive alcohol. We don't have to cut all of it. I know some of you guys like your wine on the weekends with your significant other. We're going to cut anything that comes in a package with a long ingredient list. Now, some of you guys might already do this. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is remove some of these protein powders too. I know you guys are eating those. That's processed. We can get all the protein we need from real food. Okay, so we're going to add in a couple different supplements as well. One of them being omega-3s, 2 to 3 times per day. 2 to 3 grams of EPA and DHA are going to be huge for you. Okay, and within 60 days, your leptin sensitivity is going to start improving, and your brain is going to stop getting that inflammation signal, right? That's been blocking the leptin, okay? Number 2, we're going to stabilize insulin through our carb ramp, okay? Our metabolic priming. This is a way that we use that really, really, really works, okay? So counterintuitively, geez, the fix isn't going to be fewer carbs. It's the right carbs at the right times paired with a phenomenal strength training block, our bulletproof shred method, right? Okay, as your muscle quality increases, there's going to be receptors that are getting upregulated, and your body's going to be able to handle these carbs better. So your insulin doesn't have to work as hard. So this is going to bring carbs gradually up with a whole food process. We're going to pair this with our strength sessions that are going to be highly targeted to what you need. And as carbs come up and muscle quality improves, like I said, that leptin signaling is going to improve with it. This is the same protocol that took me from 199 to 191, eating 570 grams of carbs a day. It's crazy. The body becomes proficient when you train it properly. Okay, number 3, we're going to get sleep. I'm going to say this over and over again. Cool room. We're going to bed at the same time every single day, even on the weekends. We're going to buy back time. Instead of staying up late on Friday, we're going to buy back hours to have more time to spend time with family and do fun stuff on Saturday evening and Sunday evening. That's it. You have to get this. There's no supplement, no diet, no training program that's going to override this, period. Raise your standards. Now, listen. Step 4, we're going to stop chronic dieting. Yes, you heard me, okay? We need to bring our body up to true maintenance for at least 8 to 12 weeks. That's it, before we attempt another fat phase or a fat loss phase. And what you're going to find, you're actually going to respond really well. And we find that people that start eating more food, they get the most shredded they've ever been because your muscles get full and you look like a beast, okay? So we're going to do all these things, and really what this is going to do, after this phase, we're going to create a deficit, then we're going to go back into priming, and it's really simple. But this is the opposite of what most people do, right? They diet, rebound. They never give their system a time to actually heal between cycles, and the results are terrible because of it. I know that eating at maintenance feels wrong, or even in a surplus. It might feel wild. It feels like giving up, but it's the opposite of giving up. Metabolic priming gets you shredded. So, 5 rules for the next 2 weeks, guys. No processed foods, no seed oils. Hit your protein, get your sleep, train, and get to maintenance, okay? That's going to be huge. This has nothing to do with willpower, guys. Listen, this is the truth that people are not going to tell you. The reason your dieting has stopped working isn't your discipline. It's your hormonal signaling. It's your system that's been broken by years of what doing. The fitness industry has told you to do, it works, right? Cut calories, add cardio. This isn't your fault. You don't have to push harder. You don't have to suffer more. This advice doesn't fix this leptin resistance. It deepens it, guys, right? So if you hear what I'm saying, metabolic priming is the system. It's the way out, okay? This is the system. Not a theory, not a hack. Like, this is just data-driven systems based off of research. And here's another former athlete who'd been dieting for on and off for years. Same protocol I just walked you through. We reduced inflammation. We stabilized insulin. We slept. We stopped chronic dieting. We had a metabolic priming method. We had data-driven systems that we just made, not emotional decisions. We just looked at numbers. That's it. So if you want this, keep watching. Here's exactly what you need to do next. If this is you, go down, click on my Instagram. You guys can follow me on Instagram. DM me Shred to start, and we can have a conversation and see if it's a good fit. So if any of this resonated with you, if you feel like you've been stuck, if you want someone that's going to make decisions and help you through this stuff and give you the guidance, the high-level tactics and strategies, and walk you through metabolic priming, what we've done, then just DM me Shred, right? Like, this is not going to be a generic plan. This is not for everybody. This is for the former athlete who's been stuck for years, and you're done guessing. We're going to sit down. We'll look exactly where you're at. If you want to just book right into a call, there's a link down to book a call below. But yeah, this is for people that are really looking to invest in themselves, people that are looking for the best program, a world-class program out there that's going to help them get results and just fast track them to results, and something that's actually going to get you the results that you want. So like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next videos. What other topics you want me to cover? Any other questions you have about these higher level nutrition strategies? We're talking about stuff that nobody else talks about on this channel. and I hope you guys enjoy, okay? Like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Make it happen. Out.